And joining us now is the new Minister for Social Equality and Women Advancement Minister, Golan. Thank you so much for making the time for us today. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me.
Now, you were appointed this week by Netanyahu as the Social Equality Minister and really Women Advancement Minister too, both of them. What can you tell us about your plans, your will to do in this role? And really, are you going to continue the issue of women advancement? Because I know how important this was for you.
Yes, it was. And I'm grateful for you that you asked that, because it was very important for me. When I just entered this office for women advancement, which was historically formed in the state of Israel for the first time in 75 years, I was so eager to do for women what hasn't been done for so many years. You have to understand, women are 51% of the entire population in Israel. And it was so important for me that women will be heard all over Israel, not just a sector of women in Israel. It was important for me that women from the south and the north, religious women, secular women, women that felt that they couldn't speak up and really get what they deserve and even dream to achieve what they deserve. So I will continue in this office, not just to help women around Israel, but to help all minorities to make their voice sound, just like I was, a minority when I started out and really had no one to back me up. And I promise myself and the rest of the population that I will help as many young girls as me and young men as me to achieve their dreams and achieve really what they deserve to be in Israel.
And I think that women in general, Israeli women, are going through really hard times right now. In recent months, you led a campaign against women's and human rights organizations worldwide. Do you still think there's someone to rely on? Because, we've been all super disappointed from what we heard in recent months, from what we saw in recent months. Do you think there's still someone we can say, okay, we can turn to?
Well, unfortunately, and with a lot of pain, no, absolutely not. And I think that the bubble of human rights organizations and women organizations especially has been burst up completely. Because today we know that women are not all women. Jewish voice of woman is not being heard. And when you're a Jewish woman, you can't expect that those organizations will defend you and make your voice be heard just like other women. And I don't think we will ever trust those organizations ever again. And you see that anti-Semitism is harder and stronger than feminism, and is stronger than even, basic rights of women and men around the world, because not only women were sexually abused here, also men. But more than anything, you see that anti-Semitism is rising around the world in places that we have never imagined. In the end of the day, universities that talk about democracy, that talk about human rights, and most of all, we see the UN, for example, that is forming an independent committee to have research about the sexual assaults that happen in Israel. This is unheard of. You will never ask any woman or man that have suffered such brutal sexual assault and rape for proof. I've been interviewing to the BBC and to other places, and they've been asking me for forensic evidence. This is unheard of. I don't know if to laugh or cry about it, but I can tell you that what I'm going to do with this new office is, first of all, make the voice of Jewish women being heard all around the world, but more than everything, I won't let them rest. And when I say that, I mean that I will face them with the hard evidence, with women that their organs were chopped, with women that were brutally raped, and their bodies were completely mutilated, that they were hanged to trees after chopping their organs. This is what the anti-Semitic hypocrite organizations around the world will be faced every day until they will say, what happened here is a massacre to women, and it will be heard.
Definitely. And during the campaign you led, did you receive any responses? Anything they told you, or nothing at all?
I've turned to every, and I've listed them, every possible human rights and women rights organization around the world, with letters, with emails, with videos. Nothing, absolutely nothing. We saw that even the head of the Red Cross committee, nothing. And we only saw a very weak, lame condemn. And we also see what happened in Hague, but we have to be honest, the majority of the states in Hague are Muslim countries. So to ask them to be objective about what happened here, about the massacre that happened to men and women, is almost absurd. So I take no regard about what they're saying. I have to tell you that I was the minority who wasn't sitting in front of the TV hoping to see what the court of Hague will say, or any international court for that matter. You can't expect Muslim dictatorships to tell us what to do in a real democracy. but the truth will be out there. Just like, you know, it's just like the Nazis, you know, after they, you know, denied everything they did. And today we see that there's no way to go around it. This is exactly what will happen with what happened on 7th of October.
And not only that, I think that people that are coming here, influencers or people from all around the world coming to the South and see what happened here, they understand. I mean,
Exactly.
they have to see it with their own eyes. I want to turn to something else. There's tremendous pressure on Israel to progress towards establishing a Palestinian state, a two-state solution. What's your view on that?
Listen, for me, it's absurd. We don't give a reward to the new Nazis of 2024 as a state solution. But I want to tell you, everyone who pushes into a Palestinian state is pushing into a terror state, is pushing into a state that will basically abide by the law, the fact that you can rape women, slaughter men and women and children, you know, make horrible things to their bodies, video it, and it will be all good and all okay. And you know what? I want to tell you another thing. The blood of the heroes that was really the holy heroes that was spilled here when they were protecting the basic right of the Jewish nation to exist will not go to waste. And when I look at the Zionistic factory that we built here, whoever wants a Palestinian state wants to destroy the Zionist factory here. And you know what? If you see the polls around Gaza and around Judea and Samaria, over 75% of the residents there still support Hamas and still support the massacre that happened on 7th of October. So who exactly do we want to form a state to? And you know what? I want to tell you a last thing. When I go to interviews around the world, and usually I talk about what happened to women, I take this picture with me, the picture of Shiri Bibas and her two babies, you know, and I talk about her and I talk about other women that suffer there. But in regard to your question, I want to say that whoever wants a Palestinian state wants this, wants women to be kidnapped, wants children to be burned alive, wants men that were chopped, you know, with their organs and with their heads, and this is what they want, and we cannot allow it. We cannot allow it. If anyone wants the Jewish state to remain, unlike, by the way, unlike the dozens of Muslim states that we have, the dozens of African states, the only Jewish state that we have around the world, you can hardly see us on the map. If we want to maintain it, we have to keep away any absurd idea of a Palestinian state.
Mai, thank you so much. And this picture is definitely one of the most strong pictures, the strongest pictures of this war. Thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck with your new role.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.